Hey guys, what's going on? Stefan Size, Best Reports, and it is so good to see you guys here. Guys, we have to talk right now about the NBA offseason winners. Not a lot of teams made the right kind of moves to set themselves up for the future or for next season, but these teams definitely made great moves, and we have to talk about them. So first, we're going to talk about the Miami Heat and the brilliance of Pat Riley. But let's talk about what the Heat have brought in really quickly. So, looking at it right now, we're looking at Kyle Lowry, PJ Tucker. They were able to re-sign both Jimmy Butler, Duncan Robinson, and retain Victor Oladipo on a 1-year deal. When we look at Kyle Lowry, he brings the toughness. He is kind of a perfect fit in Miami, a guy that's going to shoot the ball, not afraid to take charges. He's going to be a great leader in that locker room with Jimmy Butler. Both of those guys are really close, and that enhances Miami's chances. Not to mention bringing on PJ Tucker, someone that has proven to do a fairly good job on Kevin Durant. Sure, sometimes Kevin Durant still goes off, but he makes possessions tougher for Kevin Durant. These are going to be easy buckets for Kevin Durant. And of course, the addition of Victor Oladipo, getting him at the trade deadline last year, getting him back on a 1-year deal. Beautiful masterpiece. Victor Oladipo was hurt most of last season, so he wasn't going to get the money that he might have been wanting this offseason. Bringing him back on such a short deal, as well as someone who has the potential for NBA defensive team and the offense to go with it. This guy can score the basketball. This is a phenomenal offseason. In my personal opinion, I think Miami won the offseason. They have placed themselves as the dark horse in the NBA to potentially get to the NBA Finals. Now again, they are in dark horse position. A lot of this will kind of be on Victor Oladipo. I kind of see him as the X factor on this team. With Tyler Hero struggling in his sophomore season, we have to see how he bounces back and if he's going to be okay. But if he manages to be okay, if Victor Oladipo manages to stay healthy all year, this is a team that I honestly think can be second in the Eastern Conference and potentially dark horse, match up really well with the Brooklyn Nets. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. At number 2, let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. Complete overhaul of what their team was from last year. So let's kind of look through all of these guys right now. As we look at their roster, Dwight Howard is coming back after a year away with the Philadelphia 76ers. Russell Westbrook is coming in on a 5-team trade from Washington. Trevor Ariza, Wayne Ellington, Kent Bazemore, Malik Monk, Kendrick Nunn, as well as Carmelo Anthony. The Lakers essentially know that LeBron's time is coming to an end. This might be LeBron's kind of last contract. He might wait to see if he can play with Bronny, but we don't know that, right? And we don't know how much good years left we have of LeBron before the decline starts. So ultimately, this was a move that says, hey, we see you, Brooklyn. I'm going to try and one-up you. Bringing in Russell Westbrook, phenomenal job. I think it was him and Buddy Hield, and of course LeBron James wanted Russell Westbrook. I think a lot of people are going to be critical of Russell Westbrook due to his nature of kind of being strong-headed. But I think if there's anybody that can harness Russell Westbrook the right way and help him play the right way, it's going to be LeBron James. He has the cachet. And I think Russell Westbrook, more than anybody, wants to win a championship. And he knows this is his best opportunity, playing alongside Anthony Davis as well. But the guys that they brought in, other than Russell Westbrook, who is still a triple-double nightmare, they brought in Dwight Howard. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, Dwight this, Dwight that. Dwight Howard Yes, he's not in his prime and he's not a 25 and 20 guy anymore, but he's still uber effective, sometimes in extremely limited time. Sometimes Dwight will play for 15 minutes and he'll go out there and get like 10 boards. He'll get 3-4 blocks, and that's something you need on this team. What the Lakers missed last year was someone who was going to essentially take pressure off of Anthony Davis. And what happened this season? Anthony Davis got hurt a lot. Anthony Davis cannot be playing crazy minutes. He can't be playing against these tougher guys because the fact is his body just can't hold up. That's why JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard was there the previous year, and it worked. They won a championship. So bringing back Dwight Howard was a no-brainer. He's still a guy that can get you rebounds. He's still a guy that can get you blocks. He's still a guy that he can kind of dump it down to him. He can kind of feed it to a few people. He has a little bit of court vision. He's a solid veteran player that you can maximize in 15 minutes of play sometimes. So why not get a Dwight Howard? It is an excellent move by the Los Angeles Lakers. Looking at some other veterans like Trevor Ariza, Wayne Ellington, Kent Bazemore, Kendrick Nunn, Malik Monk, all of these guys potentially wide open. They can all hit the three. That's what the Lakers need. The Lakers for the past 2 seasons have struggled from the 3-point line, and that's why they're bringing all of these guys in. Not to mention, on top of all of those guys, they brought in Carmelo Anthony from the Portland Trailblazers. And just like Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony wants to win a championship. I think this is potentially his year. If there was ever a time, I think it's this year. Again, 42% career high from downtown last year. He's going to get so much spot up opportunities with Anthony Davis down low, Russell Westbrook running point, or LeBron James essentially drawing a double teams. This is going to be a perfect environment for Carmelo Anthony to hit a lot of spot up shots. I think it's important to realize that Malik Monk is still a young guy, and he took, I believe, the minimum to be on this team. Malik Monk can do a little bit of everything as well. So I'm very surprised that he did take this deal with Los Angeles. I'm sure he could have gotten a lot more money somewhere else. I think he's interested in getting himself a ring and then getting some money. So Malik Monk, an absolute steal for the Los Angeles Lakers. Guy that can shoot the ball nicely and also get his shot off the dribble. Not a lot of guys can do that at kind of his level of play. We'll see if he can stay healthy. He did suffer a few injuries last year. So again, if he stays healthy, this Los Angeles Lakers team is completely different. It's a team that can hit threes, which is what you need with a Russell Westbrook, an Anthony Davis, and a LeBron James. Coming in at number 3, we have to look at the Chicago Bulls. Now, looking at the Chicago roster, these guys are right there. I think they have a few nice prospects, and they had a really good offseason to continue kind of solidifying Chicago wants to be competitive again. So let's have a quick look at that. So what they brought in was DeMar DeRozan, Alex Caruso, and Lonzo Ball. Now, with the looming threat of Zach LaVine potentially leaving, Chicago's done a phenomenal job in making him happy, going out there and getting Nikolai Vucevic. Now they brought in DeMar DeRozan. Now they brought in Lonzo Ball. They're bringing in Alex Caruso. So let's start with Alex Caruso. A guy that can do a little bit of everything, uber athletic, can hit the three as well. I think that's a phenomenal get. I know we kind of meme on him, the bald eagle, all those memes. But Alex Caruso, there's a reason he was getting minutes in Los Angeles. He is an NBA player, and he has some value. So I absolutely love this move. They got a really solid guy that can do a little bit of everything, and it helps that he's uber athletic, So fantastic get. We look at a guy like Lonzo Ball. Amazing season last year. Best season shooting the three-point shot. He's an amazing distributor. His IQ is phenomenal. And he's an NBA defensive guy. So, he's kind of at the top there. He's long, he's athletic, he can pass the ball, he can do a little bit of everything, and Lonzo is now trending in the right direction. Pairing that with Zach LaVine, Vucevic about to get easy shots again, and this team, it's a phenomenal get. Also, we have to talk about DeMar DeRozan, and I am sick and tired of people not giving DeMar DeRozan the love that he deserves. He's a phenomenal player. Last year, he hit a bunch of clutch shots. People used to call him the Frozen, but he has matured. He got his career high in assists. He's a facilitator now. So you have two good facilitators in DeMar, in Lonzo, backing up a guy like Zach LaVine. Three guys potentially good, amazing scorers that can go for 20, being DeMar, Zach LaVine, Nikolai Vucevic, who can stretch the floor, with Lonzo Ball budding, potentially taking the next step this season. Chicago has a lot to be excited for. All of that not mentioning the potential of Patrick Williams as well. He's still there. I think that he'll be in the starting lineup for this team. This team has a little bit of everything. I really like the outlook on them. Lauri Markkanen is still on this team. I don't know if he's going to stay on this team. They have said that they wanted to move on. Lauri Markkanen said he wanted to move on. But if they can kind of repair that and bring him back, even if it's for a year, Chicago is going to be so good. There are going to be nights where Chicago blows away a really good team. I think they have everything. They have scoring, they have facilitating, and they have some shooters on that team as well. So let's see what they continue to do during this offseason, if they add anything else. But so far, so good. I love what Chicago did during this offseason. Coming in at number 4, we have to talk about the New York Knicks. Now, everybody was kind of gone, so we didn't know exactly what else was out there. And the New York Knicks decided to do some really good stuff. Now, they brought back Nerlens Noel, they brought back Reggie Bullock. Phenomenal job, but they added Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker. Two phenomenal adds for this team. Now, New York was a top defensive team last year. In the playoffs, in that first round with Atlanta, these guys can't score, right? Julius Randle, he had a tough time scoring. RJ Barrett had his struggles as well. So what do? You bring in Kemba Walker, a guy that, if he can stay healthy, can give you 20 points off the dribble, can hit a few threes. And Evan Fournier as well. You saw what he did with the Magic before he went to the Celtics. This guy, it can get you a bucket or two. So I think that it's important to keep that in mind when we look at a guy like Evan Fournier. A lot of people, I think, don't realize how good he is scoring the basketball, especially from downtown. This brings in such good scoring for the New York Knicks. Not to mention Kemba Walker. These guys essentially brought in potentially 40 points. Both of them have to stay healthy. Got to see how it gels within Tom Thibodeau's system. Will it work with Julius Randle without taking away from Julius Randle as well? Would it work with RJ Barrett without kind of stunting his growth? And we got to see what they do with Obi Toppin. Rough kind of rookie season, but again, not all rookies are going to be like LaMelo Ball. Some guys are going to take a little bit longer to develop. Obi Toppin is one of them. He's kind of one of those athletic guys that you don't see their potential until 3 years down the road. So let's see if the Knicks are going to go long term with Obi Toppin and see what he can develop into. This is actually a really short one. This might actually just be like 1 minute talking about him. We're going to talk about Masai Ujiri and how that was a huge win for Toronto. I think most of us Toronto fans know the fact that we had Brian Colangelo. Just saying that name literally might make some Toronto fans curl up, cringe, literally tremble in fear. But we have Masai Ujiri. We've locked him down. He is now playing a much bigger role within the MLSC and the Toronto organization, as he should. He's been great at evaluating talent. He has turned the fortune of Toronto essentially into a team that is great. Anybody that goes into our G League system comes back to the NBA with real promise. So I can never be mad at a guy like Masai Ujiri. We're going to talk about him more in a separate video, so look out for that. But I did have to mention Masai Ujiri and Toronto. It is a huge deal. I think anybody that understands the NBA knows that it is a huge deal for Toronto and essentially their team. Anybody would want Masai Ujiri. And we're going to talk about the Utah Jazz last. Now, Utah made 2 acquisitions this offseason that were really good gets, and I think they fit this team perfect. So let's talk about them. They added Rudy Gay. First and foremost, I think that is a phenomenal get. Yes, Rudy Gay isn't the guy that's going to drop 25 easy like he did in his prime. But even though he's a little bit slower, he can still get to spots. He can still score the basketball. He can hit a spot up 3. He is still good. He still plays a little bit of defense, so he's not a liability completely on defense. And he still hustles. I think this is a phenomenal get. Rudy Gay is in a win situation, so I think we're going to see the best version of him this coming season. I think if you give him solid minutes, he's going to thrive in Utah. They don't need an uber scorer in Utah. They have Jordan Clarkson off the bench. And when Mike Conley's healthy, this team is damn near unbeatable. To add to that, they also picked up Hassan Whiteside. I think this is a major steal for the Utah Jazz. And I don't think a lot of people would agree with me. But guys, Rudy Gobert and Hassan Whiteside, given minutes, both are good for 2.5, 3 blocks per game. Both of those guys, with minutes, give you 10 to 15 rebounds per game. So honestly, this is a phenomenal get. When Rudy Gobert goes out, you put in Hassan Whiteside, the middle is still somewhere that you cannot go without thinking, and that is a great get. I know, like I said it twice, but it really is. Utah essentially made 2 pieces. They got 2 pieces to help fill in the holes, the only holes that I think the Utah Jazz had. I think they lost essentially because Mike Conley wasn't healthy. You know, if Mike Conley can stay healthy throughout the year and into the playoffs with the team that they have now, these guys can make a real run, and I think that they have the potential to get to the NBA Finals. So guys, that's my list. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think everybody that I mentioned, they took a step in the right direction. So, you know, some team might have got one guy, some team might have, you know, kind of just did other things. I don't think that's a win. I think everybody that I mentioned essentially took a step forward in the right direction, either to win now or to become competitive. So I think that's the most important thing. Not a lot of teams made moves. These ones made the most significant moves. So guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell to know when I update or when I upload. I'll be here. Follow my Instagram if you're there, and on Twitter. You know, even if I don't upload, I'll tweet occasionally. I'll post a video on maybe IG. Maybe we'll go live. You can talk there. So yeah, hopefully I catch you guys soon.